Wait, I am here. Our series today starts with Lynn, a girl who is a beautiful novelist appearing on a live stream to explain what her novels discuss, exactly, and how her world works, until her manager cut the broadcast, so she went in to fight with him. She met Han, who came to buy the company she worked for, and he disliked her talk about the novel, and the manager felt the deal would fail because of Lynn's rambling, so he cut the stream. She threatened him that if he did not return the stream, she would resign immediately. Han interrupted her and said he wanted her to present another book of his. She played hard to get and told him that when her manager returned the stream, she would think about it. He actually returned the stream, and she started displaying a device used in the 90s. Wait, are the 90s considered old now? Anyway, it was a pager where people sent messages, and you replied, "It is useless now. You guys are making us feel old." Anyway, before we get sad about the 90s, do not forget to like and subscribe while I wallow in grief. Anyway, this was the tool the novel's characters used to communicate. She also explained that the hero had a hobby of collecting models of planes. She suddenly felt dizzy with ringing ears, and the model fell from her hand, shattering into pieces. And when she woke up, she found herself in a museum with a headache. The first person she saw turned out to be Han. She asked him for a headache pill, but he told her to wake up because they were in the year 1999. Watch your words, or I will have a stroke. Is 1999 considered that old? Oh my god. Anyway, he left her. She did not understand what he said or where she was. The museum owner appeared and told her she had to pay for what she broke. She insulted him and ran after Han, but she was surprised to find herself inside the novel. She was now the heroine and had to make the hero fall in love with her while completing tasks to return to 2026. She also had to keep it a secret that she was inside the novel and was forced to deal with the old device that kept yelling at her. Seriously, guys, I cannot accept this insult to the 90s. What is this joke? Anyway, she did not comprehend it and thought she was dreaming. She believed that if she hit her head on the glass door, she would wake up, hopefully. However, it was not a dream. Her friend inside the novel came and asked what she was doing before the door broke. Lynn asked who she was, and she replied that she was her friend Ming. When Lynn tried to break the program rules and spoil the ending for Ming, the system punished her by repeating the moment she hit her head on the door more than 5 times. She deserved it. Ming told her that she was in a bad state and suggested seeing a doctor, but Lynn refused and claimed she was fine, asking Ming to show her the house. Lynn went to the house and spoke to the system, which told her that it would report the hero's love and admiration percentage constantly. It also said she could return to her world. When the hero Han proposed to her, Lynn started looking for a person whom she knew only by name. She saw an invitation in Ming's room that had Han's name on it and learned that he worked at a company called Li Tao, which was hosting a small party. She insisted on going with Ming to identify him. She squeezed herself into the crowd and asked a girl which one was Han. The girl pointed to the man in the suit, but Lynn got confused and thought it was someone else entirely. She admired his handsomeness and tried to approach him, only to find that he also admired her. He complimented her makeup and dress and stuck by her side. She felt it was too easy, so she planned how to make him fall in love with her. She went to the bathroom to fix her makeup and met Han there. Thinking he was a spy, she gave him money and asked for his help, saying she knew he was from the future too. She asked him to help her make the guy outside fall for her. He took the money and asked what she needed. She told him to bump into her shoulder while holding juice so she would fall into his arms. The main thing was that she would fall and create a romantic moment for them to fall in love. However, this was all in her imagination because reality was a disaster. Han brought a large table with a cake and pushed it in front of her. She fell into his arms, ruining the plan. The young man she liked came to check on her, but she told him she just felt dizzy and said to him, "Come, let's sit aside for a bit." After they sat down, she saw a ring on his finger and knew he was married. She told him, "You traitor, you son of a traitor, you are married?" He laughed and said, "Do not upset yourself, lady. Here is the piece of silver that is bothering you." And he put the ring in his pocket. However, she did not understand how the system chose a married man for her to make him fall in love. She kept raising her voice saying, "So you are a married man who wants to meet single girls?" Her friend arrived and called him by his name, so Lynn learned he was not Han and she had misunderstood. She got very annoyed, took her friend, and went to play games to vent her anger. Her friend told her, "Even though you are mentally exhausted these days, you are still mischievous." We learn that she is in a relationship with someone named Xiao, but he traveled to England a while ago to continue his studies there, and Lynn does not have any feelings toward him at all. When they returned home, they kept chatting. Ming complained that her parents brought her a suitor for an arranged marriage, and she was supposed to meet him tomorrow, but she did not want to meet him or get married at all. Lynn told her, "Easy, I will go in your place and scare him off." Normally, Ming became happy and said, "I will be forever grateful for this favor." The next day, Lynn went to meet the suitor pretending to be Ming. She was surprised that this suitor turned out to be Han, who took money from her and got her into trouble. She remembered she was supposed to be Ming and scare him off, so she told him, "My parents forced me to see you. I am actually pregnant, divorced divorced 7 times before and have a dozen kids. He told her, I agree, that is fine. She left him to walk away, but at that moment he received a call and she heard him say, hello, this is Han. She was shocked because she had been turning the world upside down looking for Han. She had to throw away all her pride and go back to sit with him, saying, sorry, I actually did not get full. Praise God. She swallowed her dignity and got comfortable. He told her, sit, lady, eat as you wish. I already paid for you anyway. He was about to leave, so she grabbed his coattail and said, I was joking. Did you get upset or what? He replied, why would I get upset with you? Why would I get upset with someone like you anyway? I know you are not Ming because I met her several times at events. He left her and walked away. Afterward, the system sent her a message that Han's admiration for her had become negative 50%, which was clearly a problem. She decided to wait for him in the garage and block his car, pretending her car had broken down, on the basis that the brave hero would come to save her car, check on her, and fall in love. However, her plan failed complete. What happened was that he sent his assistant to tell her, move your car, we want to. Leave, do not annoy us. She overcame her embarrassment and went to Han, who gave her a note and threw it to the assistant. She went back to talk to him again, stepping over her dignity and said, what is this? Is this your car? I did not know at all. What do you think about finding someone to fix my car while we sit and drink something together? But he said, no, why? We will call a tow truck to come pick you and your car up from in front of me right now. She said, okay, do not push. I will go move it. He followed her, adjusted the seat for her, and said, I know it is not your car, sweetie. He walked away and left her. The system sent her that her admiration percentage became negative 80% and all her schemes failed. She said she would try once more by bringing him a pet to raise at home so he would remember her all the time. She went and got him a rabbit, but because our heroine is a jinx, it turned out Han had an allergy to animal hair in general. His love percentage became negative 100%. Because of this, she would be punished by cleaning the public bathrooms and making them shine and sparkle. As for Han, he was holding a meeting to monitor his company's profits, which were declining due to a competitor's product in the market. They wanted to make development plans for their company to make a name again in the heart of the market. They were hiring new employees. At that time, Lin applied for the job to use the chance of her presence in the company next to Han. She was the last one in the interviews, so she decided to pull a sly move and cut her CV to make it the shortest paper, so it would go in first. Han discovered her game and went to meet her himself. She told him she wanted to be his assistant, not just a regular employee. However, he rejected her and said, we do not need people for this job at all. When she was about to leave, she found the system sent her that Han's admiration increased to negative 80 and that she must act and find something to link her to him. She went back to him again and apologized for her strange behavior in the recent period. Honestly, he accepted her apology but refused to employ her with him in the company either. His admiration for her increased to negative 50% too. At that moment, she felt she was finally on the right track. She returned home and told her friend what happened while she was upset. Her friend told her, do not worry, you came to the problem solver. My friend, take these concert tickets. Invited to it. It starts tomorrow at TAT. This is a party for the entire Litau company. When she went, she found Han's father and mother greeting the guests. His father made a surprise and presented a diamond necklace to his wife that caught everyone's eyes. At that time, Lin arrived on her scooter and entered to find Han's parents wanting to marry him to Faye, the daughter of a big company owner. Naturally, they wanted him to marry her not for the beauty of the wig, but for her father's influence and money. Of course, he totally rejected the idea of marriage in this way. Lin heard Han's parents arguing in the bathroom because their son did not agree to anyone and wanted to live a love story. It appeared the mother was on her son's side so he could love and live his life. Faye was actually crushing on Han and stayed glued to him throughout the party. Lin came to pry him away from her, told Faye she was his girlfriend, fought with her, and spilled juice on him. He was forced to change his ruined clothes. Then Lin took him behind her on her scooter and flew off with him. From her joy, she almost crashed into a guy on a bicycle, if not for God's protection. Not because she was skilled, but because Han was the one who saved the situation, hit the brakes, and told her, I was wrong to trust you with my life basically. Get in the back. He drove himself and arrived at his home, telling her, look, no matter what you do, I will not hire you. After that, she kept thinking about what the novel's reality actually was. She said the heroine worked in it, and remembered the heroine actually worked in a company called Young in the public relations department. Because of this job, she secured a work contract between her company and Han's company. She kept studying to pass the interview. The next day, she went to meet the manager, who was a grumpy owl who never smiled. She treated Lin arrogantly, but accepted her into her company because she was clever. She went to start her job and found a lot of stress. All the employees were stressed and angry without a purpose. She met a female colleague in the department who asked her, how are you still smiling after meeting the manager? At that moment, she understood why the rest of the department was angry. Afterward, she went with Ming to buy new clothes suitable for the job. She spent and squandered money heavily, honestly. Xiao Xiao, her lover, called her while she was having lunch with Ming. He kept sweet-talking her for a bit until she told him, "Listen, cut it short. Get to the point." He asked her for money. "Why, don't you have a $5 to lend me to pay my old debts?" Anyway, he wanted her to pay his study installments, even though Ming told him she was broke and could not even buy a blouse for herself. He kept promising her that he would pay back his debts to her as soon as he worked. She told him, "I have no problem, but write me checks for them, my love." He was shocked and did not speak until she told him she was joking so she would not mess up the novel's events much, but she would take 4% interest on them. Work is work. He was shocked again and asked her, "Do you see me tearing up work to pay you back your money? Are you upset with me?" She told him, "Okay, fine, stay like that. I do not know why you upset me." She thought he betrayed her in the novel, but did not remember exactly when. He got angry at her and said, "No, this way does not work for me. We must break up." She told him, "Yes, you are right actually. Let's go." She hung up on him. Her friend felt bad about all this and told her, "Shame on you. Call him and make up. The man did not harm you." Of course, her reply was that he was a traitor. How did he not do anything? At that moment, the whole system crashed because she was changing the events. Before the system repeated the scene again, she apologized to him and said she did not mean it and would take care next time. She called Xiao himself to apologize and told him that her stomach hurt and she was a bit stressed at work. That is why she spoke to him badly. She told him she would send him the money and he should take care of himself in France. He told her, "I am actually in England." She said, "Oh, take care of yourself. That is the most important thing." She went after that to Litao Company to meet the marketing manager and make a contract with him. But the secretary refused to let her in at all and thought she was just a girl coming to flirt with Han. When she returned to the company, her manager yelled at her because she did not prepare the deal that would be written in the contract and told her, "If the deal is not on my desk today, consider yourself fired." She kept working on it all day and was an hour late for work time. When she went to submit the deal, the manager told her, "Why are you late? You are fired in my eyes now." She replied, "I wrote 2 deals for you instead of the deal. One for the company you asked for, and one for Litao Company." Her manager was just about to write the Litao deal now anyway, so she saved her the effort. When she saw the deal, she felt it was actually good and suitable for the company, but her only condition was that Lin deliver the Litao deal herself. She would say normally that her manager was the one who wrote it so her image would not look bad in front of the employees. She told her, "If you fail, you will be." She told him, "Okay, I am actually short on cash and need them." The manager agreed and she went to the company the next day with the deal. The secretary called security for her and they threw her out while she was being thrown out calmly. She used her brain to reach Han and wrapped her entire face in bandages and sunglasses. As soon as Han saw this absurdity, he knew it could only come from Lin, so he told her, "Listen, I want you to stop this nonsense. Take these glasses of yours and get lost." She told him, "But this time I have the deal and you will like it. Trust me." He looked her up and down and walked away, leaving her. She glanced around and saw workers, so she followed them and climbed the company building from the outside while wearing the helmet, scaring everyone in the meeting to death with her appearance, like a brave Spider-Man from the cheap branch. Han pulled her in through the window and kept scolding her, saying, "Do you think you are an actress with a stunt double or what? If your life ends, game over will not appear. You will really die." He promised to read her deal and decide whether to work with her company or not. After a while, he was surprised by his assistant showing him his picture. Wes Desat in a magazine with Faye, stating that they would get married and were in a relationship. Of course, all of this was from his father's doing. When he found him refusing all the girls he chose for him, he decided to stick him with that moving wig. He was happy with their picture together, unlike his mother completely, who wanted to grab the magazine and tear it over her husband's head, as he did not want to let his son live his life the way he wanted, and insisted on interfering in everything under the pretext that their son was no longer young. At that time, Han went to Lin's company to tell her manager that he agreed to the deal she presented to his staff. He called for Lin to congratulate her on her success. She told him, "On this happy occasion, what is this? I want 20% of the profits from the project that will take place between the two companies." He replied that he agreed, but she had to work on all upcoming tasks between the two companies herself. She agreed, of course, as this was 20%. Afterward, she walked him to the elevator, and he told her he was happy about the upcoming work period with them. A little later in her office, her manager came to her, gave her the contract, and asked her to deliver it to Litao Company before they closed. She agreed, but before she moved from her spot, she found Faye, the wig, coming to her personally to annoy her at her job. Faye met Lin's manager and gave him a cooperation contract between her company and theirs for 10 years in exchange for firing Lin. However, he told her that Lin was there by Han's order to manage his work and that there was a deal between them. She told him, "Great, let her manage our work, too, and I will make her leave the company myself." Lin kept telling the manager, "No, do not agree. Do not cut my livelihood." But she signaled to him from behind her back to agree, while acting like she was was affected and all that. Thus, Lin was in charge of the deal between the company she worked for, Han's company, and Faye's company. Her manager kept praising her, saying, "You are my good luck charm. I will go down and distribute rice pudding in the street now." Saw 2 big deals in one day. After that, Lin went to sign the contract with Han. She sat in his office looking at the models he made. The system sent her a gift and she accepted it, but it turned out to be glue that fell on his clothes. As soon as she turned to find something to wipe it with, she found Han in her face and they stuck together. No, they literally stuck together because of the glue. They dragged her outside to look for scissors to cut the stuck part instead of having to take off the whole shirt. The whole company had their eyes on them, not understanding why they were walking side by side like conjoined twins. Lin cut the fabric and it came out in the shape of a heart. It seemed like a good omen and we would hear positive numbers. After that, she left the company, not understanding why the system did that to her. Han's father saw her talking to herself and made her get into the car with him. She thought he would write her a check to stay away from his son. He told her, "You turned out to be greedy. How much do you want exactly?" She signaled 5 with her fingers, and he thought she meant 5 million. But she clarified the misunderstanding, explaining that she wanted 5 months until the contract between him and her company ended, so she could take her chance and make a living in this city. She tried to convince him that she was not interested in his son at all, as he was one of the richest people in the country, and she was like a cockroach by the wall next to him. "We are worlds apart," he told her. "Stop beating around the bush. Get to the point. How much do you want?" She felt that if she took any amount from him, it would ease his mind and remove suspicion from her completely. She asked for a random number, just 5,000. He said, "Is my son worth only 5,000 to you?" She told him, "No, honestly, sir, you misunderstood. Your son is not worth a single penny to me." Both were shocked by what she said. Then she corrected herself and told him, "You do not see me as a threat anyway, so do not tire yourself." He then took out a large envelope with 50,000 won and told her, "This is my son's value. Take it and disappear from our lives." She was, of course, flying with happiness at this huge amount and wanted to count it too. Han's father said, "Are you going to count 50,000? Spare us, my dear. Go on." She took the envelope and ran with a smile from ear to ear. Han's assistant had been tracking her since she left the company. He went to inform Han that she was with his father in the car and got out looking very happy. At that time, the system sent her that Han's admiration percentage dropped again to negative 50%. Her situation was pitiful. For every step she took forward, she went back 10. At that time, Han went to meet Faye, whose highest ambition was to get married. He kept messing up the conversation with her until she left him and walked away. When she went down, she met his assistant and asked him about the relationship between Han and Lin. He had memorized a couple of words from Han and told them to her. He called Han and said, "Mission accomplished, boss." The next day, he went to meet Lin and found her sitting and assembling airplane models and imitating him. He wanted to tell her something, but she kept interrupting him and saying, "Pick a color for me. Look for something nice." He told her, "I do not have time for this childish play. I want you to know that before you brought me your deal, I had already written it." He showed it to her on his phone and said, "I am sure there is a misunderstanding that happened, and I need to clarify it before we start any work." He asked her to go to another place to talk. The sharp-tongued girl asked him, "So do you want us to go on a normal work date or a personal date?" He told her, "No, of course. Are you joking? It is definitely a personal date." When they went out, she remembered that he liked a dish called angel hair. She decided to order it before him to make him feel they were compatible. However, he was very surprised and asked her, "How did you know I would order this angel hair pasta?" She told him, "I read minds. If you do not believe me, test me." She started telling him about things actually present in his character, like that he was ambitious and looking for ways to expand his company. He told her, "Okay, give me a chance to analyze your behavior too, like the fact that you looked up with your eyes, which indicates that you are searching your memory and came prepared, so it was not a coincidence." After that, he took her to drop her off. She stayed the whole way staring at him, pretending to read his thoughts seriously. When she arrived, she forgot her keys in his car, so he had to go back to return them to her. He found her sitting and enjoying the evening and eating. He sat down to eat with her, fed her himself, and kept getting close to her the whole time. It turned out he did that just to take a couple of photos at her expense, nothing more. She was surprised why his admiration level for her did not increase. The system remained silent for a bit. When Han returned home, his father fought with him because he did not agree to marry Faye and told him, "I have one word for you. My heart and my lord will be angry with you if you do not marry Faye." He left him and walked away. After that, Han went to sit with his mother, who told him that marriage is a very crucial decision and he should not choose just anyone who crossed his path, and not to be like her because she felt she wronged him in the past by marrying his father. The next day, he went out with Lin and they went to a garden to drink tea and play many games. They made a bet that the loser would be asked a question by the winner and would be forced to answer it honestly. He helped her win against him very simply. Her question was, "Do you intend to be just a catalyst in my romantic life? You do not want to be a part of it, right?" He played played with her feelings to take a couple more photos. After that, he took the photos and sent them to his father to annoy him, but it all backfired on Han's mother. Her husband started shouting and yelling in front of her, saying, "Look at your upbringing, woman." However, she was happy. Actually, it did not stop there. He published their photos in magazines. When Lynn saw them, she got very angry and said, "That is why the percentage in the system was not increasing, because he was exploiting me." Her friend calmed her down and advised her to stay away from Han, because Xiao, her boyfriend, was coming in 2 days. The next day at work, calls poured in on her like rain to congratulate her for making Han fall in love with her, and no one knew the truth. Even her frowning manager treated her nicely for the first time since she started working with them. The last call was from Faye, who asked her to go to the Palace of Roses to deliver the contract she had and bring back a contract from there to the company. After she went, she discovered she was stranded there. There was no transportation after 5 o'clock, nor were cars willing to stop for her, and people treated her as if she were invisible. She understood that no one could come to save her except Han, because he was the hero. A magic phone booth actually appeared, and she was able to make a call to him, but she did not have much money. She barely spoke to him and said, "I am Lynn. Let my friend know that I will not return today. If you would be kind enough to come save me, I would be very great." However, the call cut off before she could tell him where she was. He then called his assistant and asked him to search for isolated places with no transportation. Suddenly, the weather started to rain on her, and she got soaked in the rain while sitting there, imagining that he would appear now to save her and the sun would come out. However, a taxi arrived and told her he would drive her exactly seconds before Han arrived. He was the one who sent the taxi, and he sent some things with the driver for her so she would not get messy any further. After that, she found the system speaking to her, saying that Han's admiration had now increased to 1%. We finally started hearing numbers in the positive. Hopefully there is hope. After that, she went to Faye to deliver the contract she brought. Faye told her, "You are on the wrong path. I have no relationship with Han at all, and you must be the hero of your own story." She said to herself, "Yes, actually, you are right. She is tiny." She took some sweets and went to distribute them to the company employees at Han's place. She offered him cookies and also told him, "I baked them with my own 2 hands. At that time, Lynn arrived at Han's company with a file she wanted to deliver to him, but the assistant prevented her from entering because Faye was inside with him. She told him, "Do not worry, if anything happens, I will take responsibility myself." She walked in on them, playing the role of someone with a cold she caught from sitting in the rain. She said to them, "What? Peace be upon you. It seems I came at an inappropriate time, or what? Anyway, I want to review some work with Han." She looked and saw cookies on a plate, so she guessed it was Faye who brought them to him, knowing he did not like sweets at all. She told him, next time she should bring him something decent because he likes savory food. He is not into sweets. Faye got more annoyed with her than she already was, as she could not stand her basically. She told her, "None of your business, you clinger, you jinx." She was about to extend her hand to hit her, but Han stopped her and told her that Lynn was his partner in work and the behavior she wanted to do was shameful. Faye left them and walked away. After that, Han noticed she was sick and coughing. When he asked her, she told him it was because he did not come to save her. She remained stranded in the rain and got sick. He told her, "Okay, I will request leave for you and take you home." The system told her that Han's love percentage for her became 22%. It started to trickle. The next day at work, the system sent her a message to go home, but she did not remember where her home was at all. She kept squeezing her brain until she remembered she had a father and a little sister. She went home and found them being beaten with a cane. When she asked her little sister, she told her, "These guys were sent by Han's father, saying you took money to finish the job but did not do it." She remembered then what happened, went and grabbed the guys from her father's hand, took them, and went to meet Han's father herself. He was recording her to let his son hear all her words. He told her, "Girl, didn't you come a few days ago and take a sum to stay away from my son? Why didn't you stay away?" However, her reply was that his son was not a toy in his hand, and he must talk to him and get close to him to understand what he wants exactly and stop forcing him into marriage every so often. She took out the envelope of money from her bag when she found him offering her more money too, make her look greedy in front of his son. She told him, "Money is not everything," and left him and walked away. When she opened the door, she discovered Han standing behind it. He entered to his father. "Is everything money to you? Do you solve all your problems with this money? This is just someone I met once or twice. The big problem is in you." His father told him, 95% of problems in the world are solved by money. But Han told him, "Yes, and the remaining 5% are impossible for money to solve, and I am that 5%. He took Lynn and left. At that moment, she asked him, "What did you hear from what was said inside?" He told her that when Litao Company collapsed one day, his father married his mother, and what stood the company on its feet again was his mother's family standing by him. Since then, he was convinced that an alliance of 2 companies together is what helps the company grow more and more. She told him, "Yeah, but I do not think you will sacrifice your marriage and happiness in exchange for growing. The company like them. He told her, "You have a very wide imagination regarding rich people." After that, he took her and drove her home. The system told her his admiration percentage for her became 38%. It seemed she would finally distribute sherbet because she was walking on the right path that would get her out of this novel. She went up to her family and discovered she had actually left home because she fought with her father and he slapped her. But since, she wasn't the one who got hit, she would let it slide. Besides, the man was kind. He gave her the house ownership papers and told her, "Because of the guys who came to you, I felt you were in financial trouble. If you get stuck, sell the house." However, she reassured him that everything in their lives would be fixed and there were no problems or anything. She returned the house papers to him again. At that time, Han was at home receiving a visit from his bride Faye and her father, and she brought him a watch as a gift with her. No, seriously guys, this girl's dignity is plastic. Han could not stand himself. His mother saved him from the situation he was in, under the pretext that she wanted him to choose a dress for her. She took him aside and told him, "I know that no one can stand this wig, but if you do not want to, do not force yourself on her for anyone." He had forgotten his phone next to Faye downstairs, and it received a call. She answered it, and it turned out to be from Lin. She told her, "You are calling the knight's fiancé while we are sitting putting the final touches on our engagement." Lin was shocked by the words. She was actually calling to thank him for the new phone he got her, but was shocked that he was getting engaged. After that, Faye went to tell her father that he knew a woman. He reassured her and told her, "Do not occupy your mind with this girl. I will take care of her. Just now, I knew where she got this plastic dignity from." After that, they sat together in the garden. She returned his phone to him. When he opened it and knew Lin called, he excused himself to go inside and get angry aside, meaning alone. Lin had known that he was in a jam when Faye, the vixen, answered her. She went to him specifically to save him. He agreed that she would get close to him so Faye would see them, and he would tell her that he loved Lin, and that was why he could not be with her. Faye went down to tell them downstairs what was happening after she threatened Lin and told her, "I will show you, you Jinx face." His father grabbed him and scolded him for what he was doing, telling him, "I established Litao Company with difficulty, so you come in a day and a night to destroy it? You have two solutions. Either you cut your relationship with this girl, or get out of my house and I never see your face again." He went to appease Faye's father and told him, "I messed up." But the man had already gone down early to the Friday market and bought himself imported dignity. He told him, "Whoever upsets my daughter, I consider him my enemy. That is it. We are a heavy family, meaning we do not need a merger." Families running after him. He walked away and left him. On the other side, Ming was going to flirt with the guy Titi and pretended that her car broke down in front of him while he was working in traffic, so he asked a friend of his to drive her. She called Lin while angry and told her, "The guy is playing hard to get and ignoring me." Lin advised her to stay away from him and look for someone else to marry instead of this emotionless man. However, Ming told her, "No, of course I love him. Can you give up Xiao?" She told her, "My dear, whoever wants him can take him." At that time, Litao Company was trying to find a way out of the crisis they were in, but Faye kept making things difficult for them so that they would have no one else to turn to but her. Amidst this pressure, Han received a message from Lin telling him to come see her. She made him coffee and dazzled him with her skills in making it. He actually liked it. After that, she gave him a fabric doll that looked like him and told him, "Whenever you feel pressure or stress, hold this doll and squeeze it." It remained before his eyes always during the days he was stressed at work, and whenever he saw it, he remembered Lin. One day while he was in a meeting, he received a call from Lin saying she found a solution to his company's problem. He went down to meet her immediately and found that she knew the location of a guy who studied abroad and locally, a very clever man named Dr. Wei, and he was the only one who would solve his problem. When Han went to speak with him, the man completely ignored him and treated him terribly. Lin took the card from his hands and went to give it to him, but he splashed her and Han with water using his motorcycle. After that, he apologized to them and sat with them to hear why they came in the first place. Han proposed to him that he wanted him to work with him in the research and development department, but he refused because Litao Company's work was entirely in girly products. He told him, "After I studied abroad and locally, should I come work in a company like this?" He left him and walked away. However, Lin did not know the path of surrender. She kept showing off to him and pretending she understood his work and even giving him advice on it. She made him want to hear more from her, but she told him she wanted to sleep. When she went to book a room, she found there was only one room where she would stay with Han together. She did not object, but Han was the one who objected and said, "How can it be one room?" She told him, "Do not worry, I will not eat you." After that, they entered the wrong room, which had no light. The door opened only from the outside, and it had rats. They got locked inside in the dark. Han called his assistant to come open for them and told him they were in room 119, but they were actually in room 116 as the 9 was upside down. It was clear that they would spend the whole night in the company of rats. They kept talking, and Lin asked him, "If you had free time to do something, what would you do?" He told her, "I would really love to ride a motorcycle with someone I love." She remembered he rode a motorcycle with her and was very happy until Wei's sister sister came and opened the door for them. It was bad timing, honestly. She apologized to them for what happened, but Lin told her, "Why? No, it is normal. Do not worry. I wished I could stay locked inside for 2 days. I mean, you came at the right time." The sister told her, "Okay, lady. Anyway, we have a barbecue party today. Rest a bit and come join us." They actually changed their clothes, went down to the party, and sat with his sister to ask her about him maybe. They could get some information from her. She told them that after his long years of study, he saw everything ending before his eyes before it even started. Han kept persuading her so she would later persuade her brother of his company's success, and that if he could join him in the research and development department, the company would grow more, and they would need to develop it, and then his years of study would not go to waste. When his sister asked him, "Why are you sure he will achieve success in your company?" he told her that he trusted Lin's decision, nothing more, because she never makes mistakes. She was very happy with his praise of her. When they sat alone, she kept telling him, "You are so cute and beautiful." She suddenly fell asleep before finishing her sentence. He carried her back to the room, but it turned out she was tricking him and was not asleep or any. She tricked him so he would stay in the room with her, not in the car, because she was afraid. The next day, they went down early to wait for Wei downstairs and offer him the contract. At that time, Wei's sister surprised them that she was actually Wei, and this was their family name, so they could not really determine if she was a doctor or not. Since they spent a long time together yesterday, they were convincing the right person. She was finally convinced and accepted to work with Han in his company on the condition that all her coordination be with Lin. They agreed and went to the company. Han was truly impressed by her skill. She joined them in the matter of Lin, who left them suggestions to develop their product. After that, Han took her to his favorite place in the company, which was the place displaying the airplane models he always collected. He showed her a secret office there. She asked him, "Okay, why did you bring me here anyway?" He told her, "It is nothing. I just thought I would show you." She saw an uncolored plane and told him she wanted to color it. He agreed, and she sat painting the plane, pink and yellow and weird colors like that, but he was very happy with it. The system told her that his love percentage for her increased to 59%. After that, she went to meet Ming and told her, "Always remember me when I leave," because she felt she was close to returning to her world again. But the important thing was that he would remain a grump all his life, because she was surprised that the system device malfunctioned. At that time, Han started searching behind her to know what she wanted exactly. He found out that there was someone else in her life, and she was paying for his education too. When Lin came to the company, he spoke to her very rudely and told her, "You are helping me because you want money." She told him, "What money? Keep it for yourself, my dear. I am helping you because I want to see your company growing, nothing more." She did not understand why he was treating her like this. Was it because the system malfunctioned, or was he just moody or what? However, he was holding a grudge in his heart about the conversation that she turned out to be in a relationship. He went to vent his anger by shooting at a range. He competed there with some guys who wanted to cause trouble with TD, but when they saw his skill, they retracted their words quickly. He sat down to vent a bit with TD and asked him, "If there was someone you loved, but impossible to reach because she had someone in her life, what would you do?" He told him, "Man, I would ignore her normally and look for another one. It is not a big deal. Is there someone you cannot forget or what?" Of course, Han pretended to be lost so as not to answer him and got up to shoot. But TD remembered that he saw Lin with him in the car while he was standing in traffic, and he remembered that she was Ming's friend and her boyfriend was traveling to England. He guessed that maybe she was the one he loved and was in a relationship. His guess was indeed correct. This guy should work in palm reading. After that, he called Ming and asked to meet her to snitch on her friend. As soon as he saw her, he asked, "Tell me, by the way, what are the news of Lin and her boyfriend Xiao these days?" She told him, "I do not know. I guess they are fine. Lin has not mentioned him to me these days at all. She seems busy." On the other side, Han piled a lot of work on her, which made her stay working on it all day. When she got extra work on top of her work, she lost it, left all the work, and walked away. He went ahead of her to the elevator and told her, "Clearly you are annoyed with me at work." She told him, "No, why would I be annoyed with you when you are like a stone in a shoe, burdening me beyond my capacity every now and then?" She opened her phone to check messages, and curiosity was eating him up to see who was talking to her. He found her telling him, "What is it, my dear? Mind your own business." She went to Ming's house afterward and found a moisturizing spray there. She told her she would try it to see if Han would get jealous over her or not. At that time, he was actually fuming, not just jealous, because she told the one sitting next to her that it was a gift from a colleague of hers in England. "So if he bought you one, I will get you a carton." He sent a carton to her office, and she distributed from it to all her colleagues. When Lin returned home, she got a call from Han telling her to work as his assistant's replacement, and that he had work tomorrow at AM and she must pick him up. If she was 1 minute late, he would deduct the whole day. She was happy that he wanted to bring her closer to him. The next day, she went at the crack of dawn before he even dressed. When he came down to her, she adjusted his clothes and told him she was studying the subject well for a certain man in her mind. He got annoyed that she told him that. It ruined everything she did, and he stayed irritated all day. After that, he saw her, flipping through his old photos and laughing at his appearance. He told her, "Follow me," without a word. He took her, and they went to a restaurant for lunch. When they entered, they discovered that Ming and Titi were in the place too. Thus, Titi's suspicions were confirmed that Han was in a relationship with Lin. They sat with them, and Titi asked what they were doing here. Lin told him they came to talk about work. Work is work. Han exploited the opportunity and wanted to trap Lin's friends in conversation to know if she was still with Xiao or not. However, she was smarter than him and kept deflecting the conversation, saying, "Look at the bird," and all that. After that, they left and kept joking with each other the whole way. Han told her he hated her very much, which was naturally proof of love. When he returned home, he called the radio station and requested a specific song to be sung for Lin, and he did not realize the stupidity he did until the next morning when they called to inform him the song would be broadcast at AM. He tried to cancel it, but it was too late. He asked his assistant to use his connections at the station to cancel the song, but he could not. After that, they went to work together. He found Lin's chair empty and thought she did not come today. Just as he was about to get affected, he found her calling him with her. Silly laugh. He saw her and said to himself, "You are so annoying." He entered and asked her, "Why are you standing here?" She had made him juice to wake him up and help him focus on work. She told him, "I really want to know why you treat me like this. So the words you said yesterday while sleeping were true." He asked her, "What words?" She told him, "I am stupid. Oh, I mean, there is no need. You know whether you love me or hate me." She walked away and left him, confused, not understanding what exactly he said. A little later, his assistant came and told him he had a meeting in the afternoon and that he sent Lin to Dr. Wei's lab. When he learned she was going by taxi, he said, "Over my dead body, my wife goes by taxi." He went down to take her in his car and drive her himself so she would not hear the song he dedicated to her on the radio. He took the radio that was playing in the company upstairs and tried to keep her away from any radio. On their way, they passed by the sea. She told him she wanted to see it. He stopped the car and she was flying with happiness. But he was traumatized by the idea of the sea and had a complex about it. Lin noticed he was not okay and took him aside to understand from him why he had a problem with the sea. But he told her, "Listen, do not take me for a ride. Get to the point. Tell me who you are working for." She told him, "For the money, my dear. Money." Before he could reply, he received a call informing him that a supplier was no longer helping them and that equipment in the company would break down and there would be no production line at all. He had an emergency plan with one in Italy and one in Switzerland. He was confused about which one to choose. At that moment, Lin remembered that in the novel, he chose the one in Italy and brought back gifts for Lin, and their relationship developed completely with her. So she told him, "Choose the Italian one and do not think, even though its cost is 3% higher than the existing one." However, she managed to convince him that in the long run, it would be better. He left her and went straight to Italy without checking behind her. But a problem occurred. Contact was lost with the plane he was traveling in, and everyone was very worried about him. When she tried to call him, she found his number out of service. The device did not send her any signal that something happened to him, so she told herself it is actually impossible for something to happen to him. He is the hero of the novel. She went to him at the airport and found him standing in front of her like a monkey. Nothing was wrong with him. She gave him a small glass jar and told him, "Keep it with you, but do not open it now. Open it at the right moment." Their conversation was interrupted by Diana, a colleague of his whom he had not seen for a long time. When he greeted her, she told him, "Come now, let me introduce you to Xiao." At this moment, Lin was shocked and felt something would happen to her from the situation she was in, but she decided to act normally. She told them they were friends from high school. Xiao went along with what was happening normally because he was also in a relationship with Diana and did not know how to speak in front of Lin. These relationships are messed up. He actually did not love her or anything. He was exploiting her too, exactly like Lin too. Keep draining money from her. The next day, Lin went to meet Xiao. She was drinking coffee, and he said nothing except that she should cut down on coffee a bit because it was harmful to health. She snapped at him and scolded him, saying, "How can I cut down on coffee when I work 2 or 3 jobs instead of 1 to spend on you?" She embarrassed him in front of the people in the place and made him look like a leech. He tried to calm her down and told her that he did not love anyone but her. So there was no need for her to be jealous of Diana's presence in his life because he was using her as a ladder to success, and they needed to separate temporarily only, and he would definitely return to her. But she, truthfully, seized the opportunity and told told him, "Remember that you are the one who asked, but do not forget to return my money you took from me with interest. Bye-bye." He told her, "No, we separate, yes, but the money, no." She splashed water in his face and told him, "I am comfortable this way, but do not forget my money. Bye." After that, she left him and went to Han, who was sitting with Diana agreeing on a new development in his work. It was clear he welcomed it very much. Afterward, Diana suggested to him that he employ Xiao with them in the company. The important thing is that he asked her about him, and she told him he was from a middle-class family and was studying in England, and she knew him there 3 years ago, and they got into a relationship. She had been fooled for so long. Anyway, he asked her, "Don't you wonder where this middle-class family got their son's study money in England from?" Anyway, the next day Xiao came for the interview. Han gave him the cold shoulder and refused to even shake his hand. He kept grilling him with questions. Where did you get the study money in England if your family is not well off? However, he kept beating around the bush. A little bit, he would say, "I got a scholarship," and a little bit, "I was working in a restaurant earning 20 pounds per hour." Han told him, "Stop lying. I found out that there was someone here in the country sending you all your study expenses." He tried to deny it, but he found that Han had caught him from the beginning, so he told him a sad story, saying, "Honestly, I will not hide from you. I was in love with a girl here, and she was the one covering my study expenses. But with time, she could not stand me being far from her and loved someone else other than me." He claimed that during this period he was broken and met Diana, and she was the one who made him forget his old love, and that was why he was trying to prove himself at work to marry her. At that time, Han told him that he must return the money to their friend and take care of Diana. When he was about to leave, he saw a message on Han's phone from Lin's number. He suspected them and said to himself, "Will the cheesy story I invented turn out to be true or what?" Then he returned to the hotel, unable to stand himself, and fought with the hotel cleaner, speaking to her rudely. Diana saw him because Lin had hinted to her about people with one face and two faces, and so on. She let the rat play in her mind regarding Xiao. She went in and sat with him, and he told her that he would not work with Han because he did not feel he could bring out all his talent there. She told him that Lin worked there. She spoke to him a lot and made his stomach churn with those two words, then left him and walked away. At that time, Ming and Titi were out together. He brought her a roasted sweet potato and was sweet-talking her just to let her know that Xiao returned from abroad. Just as he was about to mention him, she received a message from a colleague of hers telling her that Xiao was gossiping about Lin and tearing her apart. She ran to him and dragged his dignity on the ground. Titi was the one who held her back because Xiao told him, "Control your people, man." Titi took her and walked away, telling her that Xiao was sad about his separation from Lin because she was the one who insisted on breaking up with him while he wanted to continue with her, and that she was a traitor. She fought with Titi too and defended her friend desperately. She went specifically to her to tell her what happened. She told her, "What do you expect from someone like this? He came back from abroad dragging his girl in his hand." She got angry and said to her, "He betrayed you. I should have grabbed him and smashed his head against the wall. The beating he got was not enough." However, Lin calmed her down and told her, "Okay, do not boil your blood anymore. I did not fall short with him all these years, but that does not mean I will give up my right. I will return the slap twofold. Just let's go back to our house to get warm." The next day, she met Diana and told her she made a story with drawings about a guy who borrows money from his girlfriend and wants her to publish it. Our friend was sitting lamenting his luck until he got a call from Ming, by agreement with Lin of course, asking him to come to their high school reunion party. Everyone would be present except Lin of course, because she was bad and did not deserve it. He was very happy to be seen as the most important one in their class back then, since they emphasized it so much. Afterward, Diana came and he told her about the party. She wanted to go with him, but he refused, under the pretext that they were a rotten class and should not see all this beauty. She told him, "You neither want to introduce me to your family nor to your friends. What is going on? Do I have mange or what?" He told her, "You never asked me why I do not want to introduce you to my family. What you do not know is that my father is very sick and has been in the hospital for years, and we have no money to spend on his treatment after he spent all his money on my studies." He kept whining, telling her, We are afraid the hospital might kick us out. He is a man over 70, meaning 1 foot in the grave." She told him, "No, my love, never cry. Take my Visa card. It has all my life savings, 200,000 yuan as well." Of course, he pretended to have dignity and kept saying to her, No, keep it. I swear I do not want it. I will not take anything. No. If you had not sworn." He grabbed it from her hand and said to himself, "You are a catch." As for Titi and Ming, they reconciled, and he took her to teach her shooting at the club, which coincidentally turned out to be near her house. After that, she went to meet Lin, who was sitting making a plan to punish Xiao. She sat next to her, consoling her about her terrible luck with men, telling her, "It is normal. It happens to the best of people." They went to wear their shicest clothes and went to the reunion party. Lin entered last, and they were all shocked by her beauty, except Xiao, who was shocked by her presence in general. He decided to bring her up on stage and say in front of everyone sitting there that he spent years years abroad studying, and after that, his girlfriend left him and loved a rich man. But he was not upset and was happy for her from all his heart, acting like a respectful man who let her choose her happiness and all that. But of course, she would not let him get away with it. She told him, "No, it will not end like this. It will end big. Play it, girl, play." The presentation. The curtains closed, and they found papers displayed on the wall saying that Xiao did not succeed or anything and was living aimlessly abroad. However, he accused her of forgery. "You call this forgery?" "Yes." "Well, what about these two? Are they forged?" Bank transfers appeared, showing her transfers throughout his study period. He had also secured himself before going to the party. He had stopped by Lin's house, met her father, and gave him the Visa card he took from Diana, saying this was the money he owed Lin, his daughter. He had recorded all this conversation and turned the tables on her once again. All their colleagues kept scolding her and telling her, coming after 7 years to question his integrity? Shame on you, 1,000 shames. Until Diana entered and told them, regarding the 3 years he spent with me, were we playing a football match? When he tried to maneuver around her, she slapped him and told them that Lin was not lying and that he indeed took money from her and tricked her too, and did not tell her there was another woman in his life. She knew all this from Han, who had warned her that he would ask her for money too, and that was why she gave him an empty Visa card to give to him. She showed him the Visa and told him, "Is not this the one I gave you to treat your sick father? What is it doing in Lin's hand now? Is he your father? And I do not know." At that moment, he got hysterical from being cornered and kept saying she was the reason for everything they were in, wanting to separate them, the ugly one. She left him and walked away after making him the talk of the town. Han was standing watching from afar, happy as he restored Lin's right. Afterward, he took her and her friends and treated them on his tab. They sat, playing a game together where everyone made a wish. Lin wished that everything would end easily and smoothly. She probably meant for her to return to her world again. After that, TD asked Ming to sing a song since she had a nice voice. She agreed and sang a romantic song. Everyone was impressed by her voice. A music producer heard her and also admired her talent. He left his card with TD and told him to have her call him urgent. The party ended, and Lin returned with Han, thanking him for his help. In the car, the system started working again and told her that his love percentage became 66%. The next day, they went for a walk together and talked. He walked her home and brought gifts for her little sister. When that sly girl saw him, she told Lin, "I agree for you to marry him. Generally, the guy is gorgeous." Her father came to interrupt their talk with the healthy fish he was chasing around the whole house. He went in to grill it and told him, "No one will eat a piece of this fish but you." They all sat eating and playing cards, and her father did not want to lose. When they finally managed to slip away, Han told her that he had a really good time today. Her family was nice and lovable, and that he saw happiness in having a close-knit family who loved each other. He thanked her for this beautiful day and left. The system sent her that his love percentage became 68%. "Be happy, lady. The man is falling for you." After that, they traveled together to another town for work alone. There were 2 days left until their return to their country, so they decided to take a stroll and went to a flower shop to plant flowers themselves. They pretended to be lovers to get a gift from the shop. Han chose a sunflower because he saw it as special and unlike any other flower. Lin kept planting the flower while he photographed her, and love was jumping from his eyes to her. Afterward, they went to another place but did not manage to book, so they sat outside taking pictures next to the trees and walking together. She remained sitting, bored too, not knowing what to do. They decided to go fishing. She remembered while there that he had a phobia of the sea. She tried to reduce his fear and make him get close to the sea. He sat next to her. Then he found that she caught a fish the size of an ant, practically. Since there was nothing to fear, and amidst the fishing, boredom loomed over them too. She threw herself on his shoulder while sleeping. He was not just happy with their closeness. He was thrilled, but when she woke up, she found she had not caught anything at all. So she went to get a small net and tried to fish with it. She caught another fish, and they sat dining on these 2 tiny fish and were content. Afterward, they went to upload the photos on the laptop to watch them together. He received a call from someone telling him his order was outside at the door. It turned out he ordered a lot of flowers and balloons to make a surprise for Lin and confess his love to her. She was sitting there anxious the whole time, feeling his love level might reach 100%, and she would be forced to return to her world, again because she was also in love with him. After that, she went out to look for him because he had left her, alone for a while. She found him calling her, telling her, "Come to me by the river." As soon as she saw him, she rejoiced greatly, not knowing why the system did not send her an alert that he would confess his love. Just as he was about to tell her he loved her, the power went out. A guy next to them surprised his girlfriend with 2 candles, and they stood and clapped for them. Then he told her, "Sorry, Lin, you know you are jinxed. I wanted to surprise you, but the electricity surprised both of us." She told him, "It is okay. It is okay. No harm done." Just as he was about to speak to her, his phone rang. He canceled it and prepared to speak again, but the phone rang once more. He said, "Oh, this annoying night." "Yes, you idiot." It turned out to be his assistant telling him there was someone important who wanted to meet him in Paris tomorrow, urgent. His love confession was ruined. He took her and left before a meteor fell on them from the sky. In the car, the atmosphere was very tense between them, so she pretended to be asleep until they arrived. After that, he took her to her house and decided to open the jar she had, left him and told him to open at the right time. When he felt this was the time, he found she wrote on the paper inside that love would revive him and it would come at the right time and bring it with him. His heart rate increased and he followed her, running up the stairs, and told her, "I feel the time is not right, but I am determined to speak even though the balloons popped and the power went out, and soon meteors will fall on us, but I still love you." However, she moved away from him and went up to sit in her room, afraid that his love percentage would reach 100% and she would be forced to return to her world. Suddenly, the next day, she went to meet Ming without sleeping well and told her she was tired. Ming told her, "You look like a monkey and there is no fever even." Ming also told her she wanted Titi to love her as she loved him, but he was playing hard to get and ignoring her. Lin unknowingly told her that they would love each other very much and live happily, but he would be martyred in the end, fulfilling his duty towards the homeland. The system stopped because she could not spoil events that had not happened yet. The moment was repeated again, so Lin told her that they would love each other and be happy. That's it. She left her and went to the company meeting where they discussed their product development. After the meeting, Han asked her to have lunch together after work, but she kept evading him and told him she was busy and had no time, and she did not like anyone taking over her work at all. He told her, "Okay, as you wish, do what makes you comfortable." He left her and walked away because he knew she was making excuses, or he did not understand why she rejected him. He thought that if he got close to her little sister, she might tell him anything about her. He went the next day to take her sister to apply for her at a new school. Lin asked him, "You came at the crack of dawn. What are you doing here?" He told her he came to drive them. Their neighbor, Nosy Ahmed, came and told her, "What is this sweetness, my dear? Did you get engaged? Congratulations! Do not forget to invite me to the engagement party." She walked away and left them. Lin got into the car without a word other than, "Let's go, guys. Get in the car. Do not make people talk about us." He suggested to them all a school where the teachers were clever, but they wanted a school with tasty food more. They took him around to shops that had cloud food and told him he missed his childhood and they would let him live it today. Only they made him try the strangest 50 meals in the world, topped by grilled scorpions, which was the least they had. They spent a good time, for them at least. The next day, she went to the company and did not find Han there. She asked his assistant, who told her he was sick with a fever of 40 and sitting alone at home. No one was taking care of him because his family was traveling. He was about to beg for sympathy for him. Of course, this was all a movie they made for her, so she would break too and show her love. When she got worried about him, she went with Han's assistant to his house to check on him herself. At that moment, the assistant sent him a message informing him she was coming up to him now, so he would leave the 10 push-ups he was doing and sit pretending to be sick. Lin saw him and feared for him very much. She measured his temperature and found it 42 and a dash. Of course, he was cheating. It was not like that. She prepared then to go to the hospital. Before they left, she measured the temperature again and found it normal. She thought he did all this to escape work. Mashallah at the stupidity, honestly. Beauty is not everything. When she was about to go home again, she found the car broke down in the freezing cold they were in. They got out to fix it. She was standing shivering, so Han acted like a gentleman and all that, took off his jacket for her and caught a real cold himself. His temperature became 39. However, he was happy because Lin would be forced to sit beside him and take care of him for real, not acting. She got up to cook him something warm to eat, but she forgot an important thing. She did not know how to cook. However, she remembered the only dish she knew how to make. They sat eating together, and Han asked her to stay with him today because he was afraid his temperature would rise while he was alone at night. Lin agreed and called Ming to let her know. Ming had a party today to show her singing talent to the music producer who saw her singing, hoping she might become famous and hit it big. Lin was present with Han like a useless object. She did not help him with anything at all. She left everything for him next to the table and sent him messages on the phone to remind him of medication times. That is it. However, she received an important call from the system to keep Han to get up and walk. If she did not do it, she would face a huge penalty. So polite and clever, she got up to execute the system's task. She tried to convince Han to get up and walk with her, but he did not want to until his fever went down. She told him, "Oh, come on, get up, fever or no fever." They were both about to fall, but they caught themselves. The system told her that his love percentage increased to 82%. Afterward, she told him she took back her words regarding this walking topic and that he really needed to rest until his fever went down. At night, she heard a sound in the place and got up to see where exactly it was coming from. She looked out the window and found someone downstairs. She went in to wake him up from sleep, and they went down to check on the thief themselves. It turned out to be the cook of the house who returned at night and did not want to disturb them, but she nearly scared them to death. She wanted to resume her work in the house again, but Han kept coughing, so she would pretend to leave and let Lin take care of him, meaning she she would look after him. She discovered he actually still had a fever and kept measuring his temperature all night until she fell asleep next to him. In the morning, the cook brought them breakfast. Afterward, she received a task from the system to cut Han's clothes, or else she would be punished. She tried to spill tea on him and tried to bring scissors and tell him, "I will remove an extra thread," but he refused completely and told her, "I will change all my clothes." She used her brain and said, "But the system did not tell me to cut the clothes he is wearing." She went and got his shirt and cut it. When Han saw her, he asked, "Are you annoyed with the shirt or its owner?" She told him, "No, I just have a slight headache." She thought she had completed the task, but she found the system telling her, "Finish up, stop acting stupid. You have 2 hours to cut his clothes. If you do not do this, the punishment will be that Han will have a fever for 7 days. She said, "Simple. I will wait for him to sleep and cut his clothes." She actually did that and completed her mission peacefully. The next day, Han woke up early and prepared breakfast for them, but he did not find her in the whole house. When she found him well, she went to her work. The system told her his love percentage became 84%. She found he left her a drink and an invitation on the desk, which made her happy, but she kept evading him all day at the company until he caught her and said, "You left without telling me why, and you did not reply to the dinner invitation either." She told him she wanted to change her clothes and would think and tell him about dinner. Afterward, his assistant reassured her that the restaurant was in a secret place, booked by him personally, and none of the employees knew at all. He confirmed to her that Han never cared about anyone like this, and surely he loved her. She told him, "Exactly. You have been his assistant for years, and surely know him well. What should I do to make his admiration stop right here?" He was very surprised by her response and fell silent because there was nothing left to say. He was rendered speechless. When she opened her computer, she discovered that a rumor had spread that Han was in a relationship with her, and almost everyone knew. The employees' looks at her became difficult. She received a call from Han's father, telling her that the company was failing because they fell in love and he refused to marry Faye, and that he would now give her a chance to prove her love for his son. He would marry him to someone else when she returned, and if she really loved him as she claimed, she must leave him to see his future and his company's future. At that time, TD was with Ming, trying to reduce her tension about singing in front of the audience. He was teaching her shooting. She asked him why he became an officer. He told her he entered the police academy because of his father, as he was an officer too and was martyred while performing his duty. He wanted to be an investigator like his father. On the other hand, Han's father was yelling at Lin because she suggested the idea of putting Han's picture on magazines to advertise his products, even though they were women's products. Han came and told him he agreed to this, and he was not embarrassed because this was his work and he'd made money. His father kept scolding him, and Lin defended him. She heard the system telling her that Han's love percentage became 88%. "Just bury me, please." Amidst this scolding session, he received a call informing him that Lin's little sister could not be found at all. They went quickly to look for her, but found only her bag. Lin remembered she had told her that Xiao came to meet her 2 days ago and asked her to arrange a meeting with Lin. They went quickly to Xiao's house and found him tying up her sister and yelling at her. When Lin confronted him, he told her, "You are the reason for everything I am in. I wasted my youth with you, traveled to study, and failed, and in the end you came and exposed me." At that time, Han was hiding to come and deliver the final blow to relieve us of him. Lin untied her sister, but Xiao attacked her and grabbed a chair to hit her, but Han took the hit instead of her. The chair shattered into a million pieces on his back. Afterward, Lin's sister went home and he went to the hospital. The doctor told her he was fine, but had some bruises on his back because of the hit he took. Lin thanked him then because he risked his life for her and her sister too. He told her, "Shame, do not say that. We are family." The system told her his love became 90%. Lin was very upset with this percentage and tried to reason with the system to reduce it by 50% again, but it refused and told her she was close to returning to her world and would not remember anything happening here. This upset her even more, basically. The next day, Han's assistant came to take him and told him, "Do not put yourself in danger, again, because of someone. You worried me about you." Han said to him, "Have you ever loved before you say these 2 words?" He replied, "I am only afraid for my job. If your father Hodge knows, he will blow me up." Lin entered on them and told him he must rest for his back, even if the doctor said it was okay for him to go out. Also, no. She found her system device in his hands and asked him, "What is this doing with you?" He replied that she forgot it here, and he was surprised why she had this device until now when she already had a phone, besides that it kept lighting up all night. When she checked it, she found that his love percentage became 95. She told him, "So you did not get me out of your mind all night night then. Get up, let's go, get up. She supported him to the car and they returned home. The workers there kept making excuses with their work, so they would not help Han go up to his room, so Lin would stay with him. They stayed together all day working from home, and she changed the dressing on the wound on his back. He asked her, "Since you studied psychology, can you tell me if a woman loves a man but keeps pushing him away, what is the solution before he cuts ties with her?" She told him that she is a complicated woman and he should avoid her, and it is better for him to stay away from her completely. At that time, Ming was going to sing in front of the judging committee. Tension and anxiety were not leaving her alone at all. She remembered her bad experience at school back in the day when the committee kicked her out because of her nervousness. When she went in to sing, she was better than the artist Kosbara, remembering all the motivational words Titi told her before she entered, and she passed the test. As for Han, he was offered a partnership from a foreign company, but initially he rejected it. Then he said, "No, send it to the legal department to review it while we are at it, and we will see." His eyes did not leave Lin after that. She also knew that his love percentage rose to 96%. She received a message from Han's mother saying she wanted to see her, but she should not tell anyone about this at all. She sent her the address, and it turned out to be at the hospital because she felt a bit tired while in Sweden and came for a checkup. She entrusted her with Han because she saw that he truly loved her. Lin told her, "In my eyes, mother, do not worry." At that time, Han was standing watching them from afar because he got worried when Lin ran out of the company suddenly, and he kept following her until he knew what she was doing here. He entered to check on his mother, and when he asked her what was wrong, she told him the doctors had not released her medical report yet. "Simple," she said. She told him, "I really loved Lin, honestly, and you must get married. Do not be upset with me because I could not let you grow up in a family that loves each other." At that time, Lin was very worried because of this love percentage that kept increasing. She asked, "The system, as long as he has not proposed to me, I will not return to my world, right?" The system told her, "You cannot exploit any loopholes in the program, otherwise you will be exposed to unbearable punishment. If you fail in your mission, the world you are in now will collapse, along with Han, and will cease to exist." She took out her phone to see where Han was and went to him quickly, telling him, "I will not wait for tomorrow. We must be together from now." She confessed her feelings to him too, and promised she would not evade him at all. He also told her he loved her. The system informed her that his love percentage became 100%, and she was close to returning home. The next day, they went to the hospital and found that Han's mother's medical report appeared, and she turned out fine, nothing wrong with her. After that, he took her to the company. She was afraid her colleagues would see her with him, so he gave her the car keys to give to him in front of her colleagues, on the pretext that she was the one driving him. When she came to give them to him in front of her colleagues in the office, he embarrassed her and said, "Keep them with you. We are going home together anyway." He kept treating her nicely in front of them so they would know they truly loved each other. His plan succeeded, and eyes were on them. When they were alone in the office, Lin remembered she said she would stay away from him. She asked him to propose to her on New Year's Day because that would be the day. She was supposed to return to her world, and she wanted this to be her last memory with him while he lived a new love story. His mother at home asked for a divorce from his father because she could not stand this life anymore. As for Ming, she had passed the singing test, but there was still the dancing test, which was her game generally. But there was a girl targeting her and kept annoying her while she moved. She barely restrained herself from dragging her by her hair. Eventually, the result appeared, and she came first in dancing. She called Titi to share her joy, and he reassured her that everything would be fine and she would pass the rest of the tests too. On the other hand, Han and Lin were sitting together, having dinner. He told her about his parents' divorce news, that his mother suffered greatly in raising him due to postpartum depression, and was lonely too. Now it was her time to live. "Isn't it a bit late, Grandma?" Anyway, Han asked Lin that they try all the outings in the world before he proposed to her. They went ice skating. Lin was like a human frog. With every step, she fell on her face. She spent the whole game clinging to Han. As for Titi, he was obsessed with Ming's success to the max. Whenever he saw a place with a TV, he would turn it on and stand watching her with hearts in his eyes. After that, Ming finished singing and directed a thank you message to Titi, saying she did not care about the contest result. The most important thing to her was the person who encouraged her to come here. She confessed her love to him on air, too, but the TV owner turned it off, so he did not hear anything other than she loved him. He called her quickly and told her he had loved her, and also for a very long time, but did not have enough courage to let her know because of the class difference between them. He apologized for being late all this time and asked her for a second chance so they could love each other. At that time, she had answered him and put him on speaker on the microphone, and everyone heard his words. She said, "Now that you confessed your love for me in front of all these people, will you be able to keep your promise to me, or should I let my fans tear you apart?" He told her, "No, okay, better, I sell you out, lady." The next day, she returned from her pocket, meaning her performance trip, as a huge star with her own fans. At At night, they celebrated her success with Lin and Han too. Today was New Year's Eve. Han suggested they take a group photo. He made Lin adjust the camera while he took out the ring he would propose to her with and fulfill his promise to her. When she turned around, she found him down on one knee, proposing like in the movies, asking her, "Will you marry me?" She told him, "You brought me broken glass and tell me it is diamonds? I want 21-karat gold. You will not fool me," he told her. "Just marry me and we will see about that later." But she found people in the street starting the countdown because the new year started. She was supposed to return to her world as soon as the clock struck 12. As soon as the clock struck 12, a car came and wiped Han off the face of the earth. She did not know how to act other than to burn the novel for the characters and tell them they were not real and that this was a virtual world. And she came from 2025, so the system would punish her and she would go back in time to save Han. But she had exhausted all her chances to go back in time and would take a brand new punishment. She went back in time but did not find Han or even their relationship, and he had forgotten all their memories together. She got very upset because she worked hard to make these memories. She went back to pass by her apartment while sad, and her sister came out not understanding what was wrong. She tried to console her, saying, "Leave the wallowing outside the house. Come to us when you are okay." The next day she woke up and went to Han's company normally. She congratulated her colleagues on the new year, but found they did not remember her at all, and she did not find her stuff on the desk. Han's assistant told her she actually did not work on this floor. She worked downstairs. She realized she had not started working with them. Han passed in front of her, not remembering her at all. She started to accept this bitter reality and promised Han in herself that she would make him fall in love with her again. She kept following him around the company until she reached the airplane models room and said, "I want to buy a plane for my boyfriend because he loves them very much, but he currently lost his memory and does not remember me at all." She chose a specific plane and asked him to help her get a plane like this one, and she would rely on him for this matter because she trusted him more than anyone. He told her, "With pleasure, lady, I will get you what you want." A little later, she discovered there was a problem with Han's company products, and someone was trying to tarnish their reputation. If the situation remained like this, Han would be doomed and might lose his position in the company. Because of this problem, Han held a meeting for employees to hear their opinion on the problem. In the proposal, they suggested stopping the production line of the faulty product until eyes were off them, and then they would see what to do. But Han refused to stop the product and told them, didn't they find any flaw in the rose, so they said it has red cheeks? Come on, guys. Anyway, Lin was with Dr. Wei doing their own checks on the side. Dr. Wei told her the product was good with no defects, and these were enemies of success, nothing more. Lin decided to find out who wanted to ruin the company. She found out someone was releasing a fake product to the market. She went to film the workers transporting the product and reported them to the police, ending this story. Han was with her and told her, "You clever girl, how did you manage to reach all this?" She told him, "I am actually clever, and to become more famous in the market and fix this mistake, compensate the people who bought the fake product with an original product, and you will find your reputation becoming spotless." He agreed, and they agreed together to bring people to make ads for them to become more famous. Since then, she stuck to him, and every little while when she found him sitting alone, she would go greet him with a cup of coffee. Like, "See, I am interested. Did you see me?" The last thing she offered him was the meal he ate at their house and liked very much. When he tasted it again, he was impressed by it too. He went after her and asked, "Can I drive you?" She told him 100,000 welcomes and all that. When she returned home, she listened to a recording from the radio she had taken on her laptop, where he was choosing a song for her to confess his love in and broadcast on the radio. She kept wallowing next to the memories and feelings lost for the sake of saving Han's life. It is like we are living in the movie 1000 Mabruk. What? Anyway, sorry, Ahmed Helmi, you see, she did it before you guys. Anyway, she wanted to do as he did and dedicate a song to him on the radio, telling him she would always remain with him even if he did not remember her, and she would help him remember. He heard these words while driving and felt she was directing this talk to him. He went to search through his things and found a doll in the drawer exactly like the one she had on the desk. He found many pictures of himself and felt blurred memories in his mind. He went again to work with the doll she had brought him. He called her and took out the doll in front of her to see her reaction. When she saw it, she asked him, "Where did you get this from?" He asked her, "Why? Do you have one like it?" She said, "Yes, wait." She went to bring him a collection of photos and told him, "Look at them. See if you remember anything from them now." He asked her, "Why are you showing me pictures of natural places? I do not remember anything from them." She told him, "Nor will you remember." She took the photos and left him understanding nothing. At that time, Titi and Ming were eating together outside. Titi told her he wanted to return to being an investigator again because this job held his passion and he loved it. He gave it up after his father's martyrdom because of his mother's worry for him, but he wanted to go back again now. Ming encouraged him to do so because she promised him she would be behind him all the time and encourage him in everything he loved just just as he did with her. When Lin and Han left work, they were in the same place where he confessed his love to her when the power went out. She started, reminding him of what happened and told him, "My love confessed his love to me here in this place, but the time has passed." However, he told her, no time passes between two people who love each other. Even if time passes, if they are together, they can bring it back again. His words gave her hope that there might be a chance for them to return once again. After that, she took him to the place where she planted the sunflower and showed him the flower, asking him, "Do you remember this flower?" But he told her it was the first time he saw it. Even the shop owner did not remember her either. She asked to plant a new flower. He was sitting watching her, and blurry memories were in his mind, but he did not want to speak. Afterward, she went to sit by herself far from him, scolding the device that made him forget everything like this, saying loudly, "My love, Han, I do not know how to make you love me again." He heard her and came to sit with her. She thought she was hallucinating, but the truth was he was sitting in front of her and heard her too. He told her, "Let's go then." She asked him, "You want to intrude in my life as what? You neither remember that we are friends, nor lovers, nor even the work we did together." He told her, "Okay, can you stop crying and explain to me slowly?" She took him by the hand and showed him his secret office, searching for the plane she colored herself. He took it out for her from the safe, not understanding how she knew the locations of these secret things. His memories kept fading and coming back again in his mind. She asked him to take this plane, and he agreed. However, his mind remained foggy all night. He called his assistant specifically to ask him about her. He asked him, "When did you hire her?" He told him, "Right on the second day of the new year." Han said, "Strange, even though I feel she has been here all along." The next day was Han's birthday. All the company employees were preparing for him, even though he never celebrated his birthday, basically, or avoided celebrations like this. But his assistant left this task to Lin because he felt she understood and knew everything in a strange way. She threw him a birthday party at the company attended by all employees. The surprise was that Faye attended too. He was very happy with her and told her, "The best gift I received in my life." Suddenly, he heard screaming on the shore, a woman saying, "There is a woman drowning, and she was just talking on the phone right now." Han jumped into the sea without thinking to save her, forgetting a simple thing, a normal thing. He could not swim. When Lin knew he was in the sea, she went down quickly to save him because she knew he actually could not swim and would drown. She managed to save him and sat with him in the car, checking on him. He told her, "So after all, you are doing for me. I had forgotten you." She knew he regained his memory of her again. They returned together to the house. He kept drying her hair with a hairdryer and apologizing for the difficult period she lived. He did not remember her. Now, after he remembered her, his love percentage returned to 100%, and he was supposed to propose to her and marry her so she would return to her world. She said to herself, "What is with the bad news in the morning?" As she got up to have breakfast with Han, he told her that almost everyone around them forgot they were in love, and they should start reminding them again. Han started doing his moves in front of the employees and flirting with her. His assistant saw him and asked him, "When did you guys get together?" Han asked him, "Do you not remember her or what?" He replied, "Remember what? I just hired her last month, and it is the first time we see her. You are a handsome guy and you made her fall, but keep it up, boss, huh?" He left him and walked away. Han was confused about how all these people did not remember their relationship, and he was the only one who remembered. However, he found that he also remembered she used to keep talking to the small device she had, and sometimes she found certain things strange and felt they were real, but he did not dwell on it. He went to celebrate the new year at her house, and she introduced him to her family once again. He spent the day with them, lunch and playing cards, exactly the same as they lived before with all its details. But the difference was he brought gifts for her family to make them happy. The next day, he was preparing a surprise for her to propose. She kept evading because she was afraid to leave him. He thought she was afraid of the responsibility of marriage and reassured her they would get through everything together. She told him, "I do not know how to say this to you, but I want to be with you. Let for one more day even." Because she delayed Han's marriage proposal, the system entered her into a countdown for 72 hours, during which Han was supposed to propose to her and she had to agree. It was a fundamental condition that she agree. When she found there was no use, she decided to enjoy herself to the max during these 72 hours. She started the day early, prepared breakfast for Han, and asked him to propose to her again the day after tomorrow until she prepared herself. Afterward, they went to spend a nice time with their friends and learned their wedding was approaching. While returning in the car, Lin told him she felt a problem would happen tomorrow and asked him to keep Titi with them to ensure he was okay and his marriage to Ming would proceed safely. He agreed. The next day, they spoke to Titi and asked him to take leave from his work to go see the hotel where he would get married with her. He took leave and went with her to choose everything. He received a call that an explosion happened in the place where he was supposed to be right now. If not for taking leave, he took off and went to them anyway to see the explosion. We learned there were no casualties so far. The next day, Lin went with Ming to choose the wedding dress. She looked gorgeous in the dress, but he did not know that his joy would not be complete and what fate brings is inescapable. She received a call from TD's mobile, but the speaker was his friend informing her that he was martyred. She remained sad over him and their memories present everywhere, and their joy she did not get to live with him. Lynn stayed by her side, consoling her despite her own sadness over this wasted time. The next day, Lynn and Han went to reclaim their memories together at the skating and games place. He won a teddy bear for her, and they entered a photo booth to take pictures. They chose a filter that made their features look old. Lynn wished that if could live with him for that period. He told her, "Stop being such a downer. Let's go eat." She found the food tasted very good, so she told him that she liked it and was afraid she would not be able to eat it later. Han went to ask the chef for the food recipe to make it for her himself. He returned and gave her a paper in the shape of a heart that he wrote specifically for her and told her, "Look at it when the time comes." She kept telling him she always saw that couples were a bunch of idiots in love who laughed all the time. But since the day she knew him, she was happy with him and understood what those idiots were laughing about. He told her a very strange sentence: "Even if I do not see you again, I will still be happy and not regretful." But someone was playing with the mic, so she did not hear what he said. She asked him, "What are you saying?" He told her, "Look at the karate. Come on, let's go to the amusement park. Get up, you disaster." He took her to the amusement park, which he operated specifically for her to play there and spend a nice time together. She told him that she always wished to have an amusement park. He told her, "Okay, wish again then." She closed her eyes, and when she opened them, she found him on his knee, asking her to marry him. She agreed this time, while afraid the world would collapse on her head, and she would wake up from these daydreams she was living to find herself in 2025 with someone passing under her house, calling out, "Leftover fish oil, leftover cooking oil, a kilo for 20. He said, "Focus, lady of the house." They kept taking many photos from memory while Han was crying because he knew he was spending his last moments with Lynn, who suddenly disappeared from before his eyes. She woke up and found herself in the office on the same day of the live stream again. She did not find the wedding ring on her finger and went out like a madwoman looking for Han, the same name as in the novel. They told her there was no one by that name here, but she became sure he existed in this world. She asked about today's date and learned it was February 16th, while she remembered she met Han on February 28th. She went afterward to search in all the places they used to go together. The world was different from the world. She was searching in her world, and he was searching in his world. When she did not find him, she returned to the company and did a live stream. She received an intervention from an announcer asking her about love. She told her that in the past she did not understand the meaning of the word, but today with all confidence, she could say she was talking about love while understanding its meaning very well. Everyone noticed that she changed and became calm within herself. She stopped fighting with the announcers. She also told her about her relationship with Han and said she lived a love story, unforgettable, with a man from another world. She used every trick possible in the world with him to win his heart, but they all failed until she gave up these tricks one day and became honest with him. Only then did he fall in love with her, and she fell too, deeply. She returned home and opened the heart-shaped paper left to her from Han's scent. She thought the food recipe she liked was written in it, but when she opened it, she found he wrote to her, "You entered my world and left me joy and love I never knew before. Do not be sad." She kept crying as she took out the food recipe paper she kept from the other world. He was sitting alone with nothing left of her but some photos. Together. The next day at work, Lynn was sitting by herself until she received a large package. She looked at the name of the person who sent it and found it was Gao. She ran on her way and bumped into a guy who was a copy of Han's assistant, but he did not know her. After him, she met Titi and Ming and was happy they were together. Then she reached the place, the same place where Han kept the airplane models. She opened his secret office. Even the colored plane was there. It was the same place, but the person she wanted was not there. She kept crying while spinning around with her memories and the planes. She found Han in front of her, remembering her, and saying to her, "Finally, we haven't met for a long time." They saw nothing but each other. Thus, we know that love is the only force that can transcend time and space. That is it.